I pretended to love football for 3 years. I sat in sports bars, ate wings I didn't want, cheered for teams I didn't care about. I told him I was low maintenance, that I didn't need flowers or fancy dates, that I wasn't like other girls. And he loved that version of me, the chill one, the easygoing one, the one who never complained. But that girl wasn't real. She was a performance. And when I finally stopped performing, he said I'd changed. He was right, and I'm not sorry. My name is Olivia. I'm 29 years old, and for 3 years, I was exactly who my boyfriend wanted me to be, until I couldn't do it anymore. This is the story of how I lost myself trying to be the cool girl, and how finding myself again cost me the relationship, but saved my life. Let me go back to the beginning. I met Cameron when I was 25. He was charming, funny, the kind of guy who made everyone in the room like him, including me. On our first date, he talked about his love for sports. Football, basketball, baseball. He lived for game nights with his friends. I nodded along, smiled, pretended I knew what he was talking about. I didn't. I'd never cared about sports. So I said, yeah, I love football too. That was the first lie. A small one, but it set the tone for everything that came after. A few weeks in, he mentioned he hated high-maintenance girls. Girls who needed constant attention. Girls who wanted expensive dates and grand gestures. I just want someone chill, someone who's cool with whatever. I laughed. Oh, I'm definitely low maintenance. I'm super chill. Lie number 2. Because the truth, I loved romantic gestures. I loved being surprised with flowers. I loved nice dinners and thoughtful dates. But I wanted him to like me, so I became the girl he wanted. The first few months were great. We spent weekends at his place watching games. I wore his team's jersey, learned the players' names, acted excited when they won. His friends loved me. Dude, she's so cool. She actually watches the game with us. He'd smile, proud. Yeah, I got lucky. And I'd smile back, ignoring the tiny voice inside me that said, this isn't you. By month 6, the pattern was set. Friday nights were game nights with his loud, rowdy friends. I'd sit on the couch, drink beer I didn't like, laugh at jokes that weren't funny, go home exhausted. When he asked if I had fun, I'd say, yeah, your friends are great. They weren't. They were loud, obnoxious, and talked over me constantly. But cool girls don't complain, so I didn't. Saturdays, we'd go to sports bars, eat wings, watch more games. He'd ask, you good? I'd nod. Yeah, I'm good. I wasn't. I wanted to go to a museum or a bookstore or literally anywhere quiet. But I never said that because I'd built this version of myself that didn't need those things. And I didn't know how to tell him she was fake. 1 year in, I started noticing the cracks. Small things, like how he never asked what I wanted to do. He'd just assume I was down for whatever he planned, and I always was, because that's what cool girls do. One Saturday, I was exhausted. I'd had a brutal week at work. I just wanted to stay in, watch a movie, order takeout. He texted, "Game night at Mike's, pick you up at 6. Not a question, a statement. I stared at my phone, and for the first time, I thought about saying no. But I didn't. I went. I sat on that couch, drank that beer, pretended I was having fun, and I felt something inside me start to break. My birthday was the turning point. I'd dropped hints for weeks. Nothing big, just I wanted it to feel special. Maybe a nice dinner, maybe flowers, maybe just the two of us. The day came, he texted me in the afternoon. "Happy birthday, babe. There's a game tonight. Thought we'd watch it at my place with the guys. They're excited to celebrate with you." I read that message 5 times. My birthday, and he planned a game night with his friends. Not a dinner, not a surprise, a game night. I felt sick. But I didn't say anything. I showed up. His friends were there. They handed me a beer, said happy birthday between plays. There was a grocery store cake with my name spelled wrong. Cameron kissed my cheek. "You're the best, Liv. So chill about everything." I smiled, and I wanted to scream. That night, I went home and cried. Not because of the birthday, but because I realized I'd done this to myself. I'd told him I was low maintenance. I'd told him I didn't need fancy things. I'd told him I was cool with whatever. And he believed me. Because I'd been lying so well, even I almost believed it. The next few months, I started slipping. Small rebellions. I said no to a game night, told him I was tired. He looked surprised. "You sure? You never miss game night." "Yeah, I just need a quiet night." He shrugged. "Okay, cool." But I could tell he was confused. A few weeks later, I suggested we go to a new restaurant, something nice. He laughed. "Since when do you care about fancy restaurants?" I just thought it would be nice to try something different. He looked at me like I was speaking another language. "You've changed, Liv." My stomach dropped. "What?" "You used to be so easygoing. Now you're, I don't know, different." I wanted to tell him. I wanted to say, I was never that person. I was pretending. But I didn't. I just said, "Sorry, never mind." And we went to the sports bar. Again. But something had shifted. I couldn't go back to pretending. It was like I'd woken up, and now I couldn't fall back asleep. I started doing things for myself, reading books I actually liked, going to coffee shops alone, skipping game nights to see friends, and every time, Cameron looked more confused. "You're acting weird." "I'm just doing things I enjoy." "But you used to enjoy game nights." "No, I didn't." Silence. "What?" "I never liked game nights, Cam. I never liked sports bars. I went because you wanted to." He stared at me. "But you said—" "I know what I said. I was wrong." He shook his head. "I don't understand. Why would you pretend?" "Because I wanted you to like me." "I did like you. You liked the version of me I created." He didn't know what to say to that. And honestly, neither did I. The final straw came on Valentine's Day. I know, cliché, but it's true. I'd spent 3 years saying I didn't care about Valentine's Day. It's just a commercial holiday, so dumb. But this year, I wanted something. Flowers. A card. Something that showed he thought about me. February 14th came. Nothing. I waited all day. Finally, I texted him. "Hey, wanna grab dinner tonight?" "Can't. Big game on, but you're welcome to come over." I stared at that text, and I felt it. The final crack. I replied, "I don't want to watch the game, Cameron. I want to have dinner, just us." He called me. "What's going on with you?" "I want you to take me to dinner for Valentine's Day." "I thought you said Valentine's Day was stupid." I lied. Silence. "You lied?" "Yes, I lied. I do care. I want flowers. I want nice dates. I want you to put effort in." "This is crazy. You've never asked for any of this before." "Because I was scared you'd think I was high maintenance." "Well, this is high maintenance, Liv." And there it was, the thing I'd been afraid of all along. Then I guess I'm high maintenance. You're not the girl I fell in love with. My heart broke. But not because he was wrong, because he was right. "You're right," I said quietly. "I'm not. That girl doesn't exist. She never did." We broke up 2 days later. It was mutual. He wanted the cool girl back. I couldn't be her anymore. The first few weeks after the breakup were hard. Not because I missed him, but because I mourned the time I'd wasted. 3 years. 3 years pretending. 3 years bending myself into shapes I thought he'd love. 3 years neglecting what I actually wanted. And for what? A relationship with someone who never actually knew me? I started therapy. My therapist asked me a question that changed everything. Who were you before you met Cameron? I opened my mouth and realized I didn't know. I'd lost her so completely, I couldn't even remember. So I started looking for her. I went to museums, read poetry, took a painting class, went to quiet coffee shops, wore dresses I actually liked, said no to things I didn't want to do. And slowly, I started to feel like myself again. Or maybe for the first time. 6 months later, I met someone new. His name is Daniel. On our first date, he asked what I liked to do. I almost said, "I'm pretty chill. I'm down for whatever." But I stopped myself, and I told him the truth. I like bookstores and art galleries and quiet restaurants where you can actually talk. He smiled. Me too. We went to a museum, then dinner at a small Italian place. We talked for 3 hours about books, about art, about things that mattered to me. And when he walked me home, he said, "I had a great time. You're really interesting." I almost cried, because no one had ever said that to me before. Cameron never knew I was interesting, because I never let him see the parts of me that were. Daniel and I have been together for a year now, and here's the thing. I'm not low maintenance with him. I tell him when I need something. I ask for flowers. I plan romantic dates. I say no when I don't want to do something. And he doesn't call me high maintenance. He calls me honest, because that's what it is. It's not high maintenance to have needs. It's not dramatic to want effort. It's not too much to be yourself. It's just being human. Here's what I learned. The cool girl doesn't exist. She's a fantasy men create and women destroy themselves trying to become. She doesn't care about anything, doesn't need anything, doesn't want anything. She's perfectly content with whatever scraps of effort you give her. And she's not real. I spent 3 years being her, and all I got was a relationship with someone who didn't actually know me. When I finally stopped pretending, he left, and that told me everything. He didn't want me. He wanted the performance, and when the show ended, so did his interest. If you're reading this, and you're pretending right now, pretending you don't care when you do, pretending you're fine when you're not, pretending to like things you hate just to keep someone around, please stop. I know it's scary. I know you think if you show the real you, they'll leave, and maybe they will. But here's the truth. If they leave when you stop pretending, they were never yours to begin with. They were in love with a character you played, not you. And you deserve someone who loves you, the real you, the one who has opinions and needs and preferences, the one who says no, the one who asks for what she wants. That version of you is not too much. She's enough, exactly as she is. I'm not the cool girl anymore. I care about Valentine's Day. I don't pretend to like sports. I ask for effort. I have standards. And the right person didn't run from that. He loved me for it, because he wanted a real person, not performance. Stop performing. Start living. The people who matter will stay, and the ones who don't, they were never meant to be in your real life anyway. Only in the fake one, you were exhausted playing.